All right, so I want to talk about eating meat and spirituality, okay? So there's a lot of people that say that eating meat, like, it basically gets a bad rep in the spiritual community. And when you're truly awakened and truly enlightened, you find a way to piss off everybody. You'll find a way to piss off religious people. People from all political parties, the left and the right, will both think you're insane. You'll even manage to piss off other spiritual people that think they're spiritual but are still lost in their own delusion. Okay. So, do I think eating meat makes you any less spiritual? No, I don't. I used to think that. Now, that being said, on your path to find it, whatever it is, it might be smart to give up these things, you know? And for some people, it might work. But I came across the realization. One, I was vegan for a while, then I was vegetarian, then I was pescatarian, and just I didn't have the adequate nutrients. I didn't feel right, you know? And the thing about this is, there's a couple enlightened masters of the world that will say things like, first off, Yeshua says about, like, it's not about what you put into your body, it's about what comes out, you know? That's what matters. And that stuck with me. And who says this? I think it's Sri Ramakrishna says the meat eater that has his mind fixated on God is a vegetarian, and the vegetarian that is basically involved in worldly problems and is basically a piece of shit is a meat eater. When you understand the truth, it really doesn't matter what you eat, and here's why. You're actually not the body, right? If let's say you have a body type, or like mine, I feel like it is lacking. It needs this, you know? It needs meats from time to time, you know? It isn't unspiritual, you know? You're doing what's needed. And to me, I truly believe that I was given a body like this to show that not everything is fixed, you know? There's many forms to realize things, and ultimately, we aren't these bodies, right? This organism needs meat, but you're not the organism, so you're fine. That's the point. As long as you say, I'm not spiritual because I eat meat, there is no I to eat the meat. There is no I to not eat the meat, you know? You're a soul, your awareness, your consciousness. You're not this body. If the body needs something, you do what life requires, you know? This is a piece of life, and if this piece of life requires something, you would be going against the laws of life, which is against the spiritual truth, to ignore it. You know what I mean? It's more spiritual to do what the body requires than to not. Now, that being said, if you don't have any issues, of course, do the least possible way so that the least amount of life suffers, you know? And I also want to emphasize that balance is key. It's like veganism, in my opinion, at least with my body type, is extreme in one way that is lacking in a lot of things. And it might work for some people. It does. And good, I hope it does. That'd be the most peaceful option if you could do so. Then you got the carnivore diet, right? And it's like, that also is extreme, you know? True balance is a healthy balance of everything, right? Not too much of one thing. That way the body gets everything it needs, you know? And this is what I say, like, going back to that quote that Sri Ramakrishna said is, basically, if you are, like, vegetarian or vegan, and you're, like, not thinking in a divine way, what are you fighting against? All these, like, vegans are like, oh, you know, you're much more, like, peaceful when you're vegan and all this. And I'm not generalizing because I was a vegan and I didn't do this shit. But think about this, right? A lot look at some of the crazy radical vegan protesters who are causing all this destruction and violence in the name of peace. Like, oh yeah, the veganism is really working. You're showing us. Like, come on. But that being said, the other side, it's not a useless diet. It's like you got to find what works for this piece of life, you know? But understand that this is the piece of life you have to work with, but this isn't like you. This is the avatar, you know? It's like, got to do what you got to do. But you're the soul. You're not anything. You're not a meat eater. You're not a vegan, you know? You're the awareness. And once you like realize that, it doesn't matter what you eat. It matters about your actions in the world. If this body needs meat, give it meat. But that doesn't mean you abuse animals and you like you don't care about life. You know what I mean? Like, here's a good example of that. Yeah, I introduced animal products back into my diet. But that being said, my actions still represent that of someone who has vegan values, right? It's like, if I like the other day, I saw a cicada, and it was like, it was raining, right? And its wings, and it was on its back, and it was like drowning in this little puddle, right? And I stopped what I was doing. I was in the middle of a DoorDash order, and I was running behind and all this, but I stopped what I was doing. I helped a little guy out, helped him dry his wings off, and put him under somewhere safe. Like, if I see suffering in the world, I'm not just about to let that shit go. And yeah, I understand, like, some vegans will be like, oh, well, you could do that, but, like, you're still enabling the killing of animals and all that. It's like, there is a flow of life, and it's like, if this body requires that, the Most High, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, made that happen, you know? You gotta do what's right for this body, and I believe I was given a body where veganism doesn't work to show that enlightenment comes in all kinds of forms, you know? It's not just sit in a cave all day, you're a breatharian and stuff like that. Like, it can be that way. But enlightenment, you can find the truth through any avenue, any religion that you really, really connect with God, because God is the form of enlightenment, right? You could find it as a Buddhist, you could find it as a Christian, you can find it as a Muslim, you know? As long as you connect with God, when you actually connect, not like the idea of a God in a book, when you actually connect with God, which all religions, if your heart is truly like focused on finding God, you'll find God, you know, you'll understand the truth. But it's more than just these practices, you know? Like, diet, all this stuff, like, it helps, it genuinely helps, like, but you're beyond these things. Transcend the idea that you need to do a certain thing to become spiritual. Like, true spirituality goes beyond all of that. And this is just a little topic, something I've been thinking about recently. Like, I'm definitely not saying it's cool to kill animals in the way, like, slaughterhouses, animals just born to die. That it is absolutely messed up. And if you can control it, if you need to eat meat, make sure you try to eat meat in the way that is the most peaceful way possible. I mean, it's like, and it's healthy for your body. I mean, grass-fed, not with a bunch of hormones and stuff like that. But I don't think any diet that is absolutely extreme on either end is good. I mean, humans are very adaptable. There's a whole argument about our teeth, like, oh, our teeth are meant for grinding plants, or we're meant to eat meat. It's like, humans are meant to adapt, and we're very spiritual beings, meaning we can manage no matter the circumstance. We're resilient creatures, you know? We got teeth that are meant to grind plants, and we also got some teeth that are meant to chew meat. It's like, yeah, we don't have the fangs of like a predator that is meant to do that, but we have it all, you know? It's like MMA, you know, one martial art is not good enough. You need all these different things so that you could thrive in the cage, you know? Same concept. But do what's best for you. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, all vegans are dumb, you know? It doesn't work for me, so it doesn't work for you. I'm not saying that. Like, you got to do what works for your body, you know? And do it in the most peaceful way possible. And if you eat meat, still save that little bug, man. Like, you're not about to eat that bug. Why would you just let it suffer? If you could change it, you know? fact that I can't change that my body requires certain things, it's like, got to go with it, you know? We're one with everything, you know, got to do what's required and find the lessons that are, you know, meant for your path alone. And, you know, as long as you're doing the highest good you can, that's all you can really ask for. When you're truly enlightened, you don't need, like, you don't need to be told what to do. You will know what to do. So, yeah. Have a good one.